Alright, I'm back with another Destiny 2 video. Barring any sort of last minute teases from Bungie, they did post something that was just like a little 10-second witness teaser ahead of the showcase tomorrow. Some things leaked over the weekend. I'm not going to be discussing leaks here or basing predictions on. I really try to avoid almost all of the leaks, so pretty much nothing I say here is based on any specific leak in terms of predictions. And I also think we should keep in mind that there is at least some possibility that stuff scraped out of the website, data mined, could not pan out the way people think. If Bungie has maybe figured out that people do this, they could theoretically put false info in there. I'm not leaning toward the fact that they did that, but it's not impossible. So if you think X or Y thing is called this or this or that raid is coming back, who knows? I did want to get into a little bit of predicting here, and I feel like the showcase will mainly be concentrated on like 2.5 things, maybe 2.25 depending. Season 18 information is pretty obvious. I think that we are going to be getting a halfway decent showcase about Arc 3.0, or at least when they're showing off Season 18 stuff, they will be putting in some Arc, combat and stuff, so we can see some of the new moves in action. I would say probably like the new Hunter Super will be something that we see in the video. We'll obviously get at least some sort of overview about the story of the two major theories that have been put forth over the past few months. The one is that, this is a Rasputin season. We're going back to Rasputin with all the hints about him getting a body and stuff in the past. Those are seeds that have been planted. And then there is the other half of this, which is the idea that Aramis is coming back. Both of these are pretty heavily supported by in-game things. Aramis in particular was part of the Vox Obscura prophecy vision thing that Keitel saw. Vox Obscura already correctly predicted the Leviathan's return, so the Ship Stealer revived would be a logical thing to also come true. And then there's some other stuff we'll get to in a minute. And then Bungie's doing little teaser things, like posting a little emote thing that's like, who's going to break the ice? And so ultimately, I am leaning more toward Aramis, and this being the witness wants Aramis to be a disciple or something. That seems to be... the theme of last year seemed to be maybe that, we were collecting allies, and now the witness is collecting its own allies in the great fight against us and the Traveler. I do not know the specifics of this. I mean, you would think it would probably be a pretty Europa-focused season. And if that's the case, maybe we'll hear from the Exo Stranger for the first time in a very, very long time, since Beyond Light, essentially. Because it was so significant when she returned, and then she's just really done nothing since then. A Europa season would be Fallen and Vex enemies. We have not had a Fallen season where we fight lots of Fallen since... Beyond Light itself. We have not had a Vex season since Season of the Splicer, which was mostly Vex focused. So it has been a long time for each of those. So that is kind of my rough Season 18 predictions. I don't know any, let's assume Crow's storyline will continue, or, pretty basic things like that. I also think that we will probably get at least some teaser of Season 19, whether we get the name or a glimpse at, okay, that is the Rasputin season or something, because we are doing this reveal 2 seasons early. So to me, it would be pretty weird to have Season 18 information laid out, and then we skip Season 19, and then we have Season 20 with Lightfall, and then they do a bunch of Lightfall stuff. So I would think this would be the time to be like, okay, Season 19 is Season of the Archangel, and show Rasputin and Anna Bray doing like a thing or two. I doubt we would get any significant details about that, but I mean, maybe a date, I don't know, something like that. But I would be a little surprised if they just kind of left that blank completely, like this blank space in the timeline. Lightfall stuff, I really have not seen any concrete Lightfall leaks at all. I don't know, I think those might exist or claim to exist or something, but I have no real perception of what Lightfall will be other than... the idea that this is probably when the witness finally arrives. All of the teasers have had to do with the witness, so I don't think we're going to do another, this is not the witness, that we're taking on in Lightfall. We have to wait another year for the witness to come in the final shape. I think the witness will be here, and then the following year will be kind of the aftermath of that. Again, going back to Vox Obscura, the other predictions there were a traveler infected by darkness and a city under siege. So I have always had the theory that, one of the things that, Callus raising the pyramid in the moon, which is probably going to happen, I think the Witness is trying to get allies and tools like within the system. Like the moon is obviously very close to Earth and the Traveler, and I think there's a reason that the pyramids just haven't shown up at Earth yet. I mean, maybe they could, but there might be some sort of defensive thing in place there where they can't do that. Reviving Aramis is another ally, one who's already communed with the darkness, and she can do stuff as well to help out. That could be, part of this too. The Traveler infected by darkness, that certainly sounds like something Destiny would probably do. And then the last city under siege. I mean, we've seen that before to a certain extent. Like Season of the Splicer was sort of the last city under siege, at least the one district. What I'm wondering about Lightfall is, I wonder if the last city could be a new zone. Like if that's the new zone, like a very heavily urban environment where, combat takes place within the last city. Obviously, we've already been to the last city for all of the Scourge of the Past raid, and a mission or two here and there have been kind of in the last city to a certain extent. They've opened up little bits and pieces of it. Scourge of the Past is obviously when we've kind of been deepest into the last city. So I do wonder if that could be some sort of new planet. Other than that, I'm not really sure if I have any other planet ideas. I don't think we're going outside our solar system yet, but also things can just get kind of weird, where I would have never predicted Savathun's throne world would be the zone for Witch Queen, which is, again, I'm pretty sure it was Old Chicago transformed into Savathun's throne world when they needed to shift focus for the storyline. As for what's coming with that, I have to think a new subclass is coming. I think everyone was kind of expecting one with Witch Queen, and then they obviously did the 3.0 thing, which I think was correct. I think that was the right thing to do. But now that another expansion is rolling around, it does very much seem like the time to get that done. I stick with old theories that this is going to be somehow poison based. They've laid the groundwork for poison skills and damage and stuff already with a number of weapons and exotics. It may be rooted in Egregore. That is something that has been hinted at in the lore. And, we've seen the image of a green-looking subclass where we couldn't really extract anything else from that other than the color green and some weird symbol no one ever analyzed. But, I think this is probably, the time that they would be doing this. I don't know if it's just, poison clouds or if it's, literal plants, you're shooting out vines at enemies and who knows, I'm not sure about that, but I'm sure that this subclass exists, and we are probably going to end this saga with 3 light and 3 darkness subclasses. That makes the most sense to me. In terms of other stuff, I really hope that we see some significant changes to the power grind. That has been a rumor for a long time that Bungie may move away from gear power and just make everything XP based. So no more infusion, no more ults falling behind, no more players falling behind if they take a season or 2 off, theoretically. That is one significant change I'm hoping to see. We've heard bits and pieces of things they've talked about, we're going to be changing the combat mod system and the armor, and who knows when that kind of stuff will debut. Also, I skipped over the Season 18 raid debates, Kingsfall versus Wrath of the Machine. Kingsfall has always been the logical option, just based on kind of recent story developments, based on how popular and beloved that raid was. That was probably the most high-profile raid race ever, I think, back in the day. And everybody loves the Dreadnought, wants to go back to it for that raid. Wrath of the Machine, I think, is a lot trickier in a lot of ways. We've already gotten the exotic from that. They said they're not going to expand the Cosmodrome with the Plague Lands. They would have to redo all of the Siva Fallen and those Siva abilities specifically for that raid. There's a lot stacked up against that. It did fit into the whole, maybe this is a Siva season with a Siva raid and stuff, but if that's all pretty much bundled together. So it's not happening. Could just be Kingsfall. Again, don't really know why they would keep this a secret. Either way, it doesn't really make a whole lot of sense to me in terms of keeping the reprise raid a secret, but I digress. I will not be around for the raid debut on Friday. I am flying out of town for a memorial service, so I'll be gone Thursday and Friday. I will be around tomorrow for the obvious event and launch, but if you see me not around for raid race stuff, that is why. I'll probably recap or remind people of that later. But and then past that, so that's like the main thrust of this. The kind of side stuff here is we know that there's going to be some sort of announcement with Epic, likely that Destiny 2 is coming to the Epic Game Store. Titled Mustard is a big Destiny 2 player and fan, which he has not talked about a ton, but he has mentioned it previously. And right now, the collab seems to be, I already did a video on this, it's the 3 skins that are classic Fortnite skins turned into Eververse armor sets. We don't know how to get them. I'm assuming we just buy them, but maybe there's some sort of challenge or download Destiny on the Epic Game Store. Who knows? Reports are coming in about the Fortnite side of this. I've heard that Zavala and Ikora are 2 of the characters that will be in Fortnite. There was a third one that I've heard a few things about. It may or may not be, but I'll just leave that one up in the air for now. The point is, this is a much bigger crossover than I was anticipating, and I think everyone is going to be pretty happy with, like, everyone likes those armor sets. Everyone is saying how cool those armor sets look, so I don't think anyone is really, like, poo-pooing this, even though you hear Fortnite collab for Destiny, and it might make you roll your eyes a bit initially. I think this is pretty cool. I will obviously buy those skins in Fortnite so I can hit the gritty with Zavala. And you can have Ikora Ray, Kamehameha, anyone now with his kind of chaos reach, which is interesting. Past that, I'm a lot less sure about other announcements they might make here. The 2 that occur to me are, I think these might be smaller announcements. I don't know how deep of a dive they would do, considering all the stuff I just said is a lot already, and these showcases are generally not like crazy long. They're usually like 20-30 minutes. They're not like an hour, so we would see what they have time for. But the 2 most pressing things that we are waiting to hear something about are what appears to be some sort of Destiny 2 mobile game made with NetEase. They have been hiring up for that like crazy. They really seem like they could be on the verge of at least announcing what that is. I think they could slot it into an event like this to avoid a "don't you guys have phones" situation, because this wouldn't be like the announcement of the event. It would be like a side announcement, because they're doing Lightfall stuff. So that could be a time to do it now. The other thing is announcing some sort of Destiny multimedia expansion. The most common theory here is Bungie is working on a Destiny animated series, or anime, whatever. You would assume that will go to some streaming platform. Netflix has done a lot of streaming things in the past with video games, so it could be them. Amazon, I know, is taking on a lot of video game projects. Could be them. It could be, a lot of different things. So that is something you could at least, if it's not ready, obviously, but like they could announce that it's happening or something. Past that, I don't think like another full game set in the Destiny universe or time to unveil one of their new IPs. I don't think that is the time for this. They've been very clear this is Destiny focused, Destiny 2 focused specifically. So everything here is probably going to be directly related to Destiny 2. So I don't think they're going to stack too many things in here, but obviously I think it will still be a significant showcase. And then the season launches, like an hour later or something? So then we will dive into Season 18 straight from that and see what happens then. Those are kind of my overall predictions here. They're not like ultra specific, but that is what I'm kind of feeling for at least a lot of this. And I know I am wrong, let's say at least half the time, maybe more, maybe less, but I do think a number of those things will come true in some form or another. And I am obviously very, very looking forward to seeing how this all plays out tomorrow. This past few days and this week has been just like an utter disaster, and I'm just praying that nothing crazy happens tomorrow to disrupt the showcase, but with my luck lately, it might. So I will keep you posted on that. But otherwise, I'm planning to probably live tweet the showcase and then probably do a quick article about it, dive into Season 18, play that for a bit, and then make a video about, I don't know, maybe the whole showcase, maybe just the intro of Season 18. I'm not sure, but it's going to be a long day full of a lot of content and a bazillion things to go through there. And then I will not be around the latter part of the week here. So anyway, I'm, welcome to your own guesses in the comments. If you found something data miney, just don't post it here, please. Like, we have like 24 hours to go, so let's chill. Like, unless Xbox puts up the Lightfall splash page on, the dashboard or something by accident. Like, I'm not covering leaks, unless they're, I guess, Fortnite related. Those ones are like whatever. So we'll see what happens. All of these things always leak. I don't know if they should be as secret focused as they have been the last 2 seasons now. I think that has a lot of potential to backfire, but we'll see what happens next time. And again, if we get season 19 information here, that problem is already solved for next time around. And if we're getting a Lightfall reveal now, so it's not like we're going to be going into Lightfall totally in the dark. So anyway, that's all I got for now. Thanks for watching, and I will talk to you later. Take care.